10:02 on the fan. What's happening? That's right. Go get Aaron Rodgers, damn it. How's everybody doing today? Public enemy number one, Empire State Building. We'll get to you. Don't worry, we will get to you. We start, though, with public enemy number two. And I find this really interesting, and I don't think people are seeing it this way. I do. The Philadelphia Eagles are a gift to the sporting world. The Philadelphia Eagles are incredibly unlikable. Their coach comes across as a little punk. Their fans are out of their minds, and they're punks too, right? And I'll tell you what, in a world, at least pertaining to sport, well, actually really everything, well, everything, oh, you're my buddy, soft, with this. I think it is awesome that somebody is emerging as a villain. Like, you look at the NBA, it's all about, and the NFL, oh, here's my jersey. Let's do a little swap after we kick the crap out of each other. Let me sign my name. The Philadelphia Eagles are a throwback. They're unlikable. They're good. They know it. And I think it's good for sports.
I think it's great for sport. It's great for them because they embrace it. Remember last week we had Ike Reese on, who does the afternoon drive down in Philadelphia for WIP, and I mentioned something about Jalen Hurts because Jalen Hurts really is a good guy and a very likable player. Like, you watch him, how he achieves, and the adversary that he went through with his shoulder this year, but going back to even his college days, he just feels like a kid who's going to overcome anything and find success. And I said to Ike, I was like, dude, that kind of makes you likable. It makes the Philadelphia Eagles likable because of the leader of your team. And Ike's response immediately was like, I don't want to be likable. I don't want that. I like that edge. And you feel that when you just look at the fans. I mean, hell, you heard stories, and Martucci, our buddy Mike Martucci, called us and told us that the security down there in Philly said that they were throwing eggs at the buses.
That's $9 a dozen. Hopefully they have some money out there in Philly.
Throwing eggs at the buses of the 49ers as they were coming into the facility.
But not the Giants, because they respect the Giants.
They did not do that to the
Giants.
Not the Giants. They respected the Giants, and they have to see the Giants consistently, obviously, because they're in the same division.
I think they also knew the Giants were no real threat. They're like, we're not going to waste eggs on the Giants.
Yeah, we're not going to try to distract them. The power did go out, or the water did go out, also in the 49ers hotel, but it is what it is. But I think that the hate from the fans is kind of taken into the personality of the team. And I'm not going to say individually, oh, this guy's a jerk, this guy's a bad dude. It's not that. It's just how they present and how they don't really care about being, I don't know, likable. I mean, maybe Jalen Hurts is the only one. Everybody else is like, I'm going to be a pain in the ass. Defensively, Hassan Reddick's a pain in the ass. Brandon Graham's a pain in the ass. C.J. Johnson's a pain in the ass. All these guys play up to it. And I think you're right. It's good for sport because there are no villains anymore.
There's not. I mean, listen, you can do this without even really thinking too hard. And I'm sure you can come up with a million names here. And you don't want to see this because it's dangerous, but, where's the modern-day Pedro Martinez headhunting and then, pointing to his head like he did against the Yankees?
Like he did it on purpose.
Yeah. Where's the Ty Domi and the NHL on ice? I know the game's different. The goons have been policed out and there's more skill, which is not a bad thing, but where's the Sean Avery's, just the agitators that you couldn't stand, the thuggery, which we loved. We missed this with Oak and Mace, and rest in peace, Mace, with our Knicks from back in the day. Mark Gaston, I know this was a million years ago, Mark Gaston doing sack dances and these wacky gyrations, which would, inflame tensions on the field to the point where they were having, bench clearing brawls that actually happened, which never happens in the NFL, but it happened with Mark Gastineau because he was such a showman.
It almost happened yesterday at the end of the meaningless 49ers game.
I think it's good because, listen, I do think there is just an element of just too much familiarity. There's too much of a cordial nature. And please, I'm not saying that you come out and you go below board and you're dirty, but what makes, because I don't believe in that, but what pulls us in on a real emotionally visceral, invested level is when we can't stand the other player. Like, I'll never forget when the two things that probably where I flipped out, if there was a camera on me They would have taken me away in a straitjacket, and you wouldn't even know who I am at this point. I'd be locked away forever. When Pedro threw down Don Zimmer, number one, and when Alonzo and the Knicks were square with Larry Johnson and Jeff Van Gundy's on Zoe's knee or his ankle like a little poodle. I mean, it was bonkers. Like we couldn't stand these people.
Where were you, by the way? With
Both times in my basement. Both times in my basement. And it's that's gone, and it's become again cordial's the word. I mean, it's just hey, we're gonna dap up. Hey, look at me on Instagram. Oh, let me have your jersey. Oh, we're boys. No, I think what really what pulled me in to sports is number one. I wanted to emulate those guys, and I wanted to try to be that as a young athlete with multiple sports. But really, it's the intense connection to the jersey, to our city. And speaking of our city, we'll get to those clowns with the Empire State Building in a little bit. We will get to them. But I love it. I hate the Eagles, but I love them because they're good for us.
I think that, from a national perspective, if you don't have a team that you're rooting against, why are you watching? If you don't care who wins because both of these stories are good stories, you don't actually have as much incentive to pay attention. It's unfortunate, but it's just the reality of the world we live in. There's good guys and there's bad guys. It's played out in media and movies. It's played out in the Cold War, countries against countries. It just is what it is. You need a bad guy. You need a villain, and the Eagles fit the role perfectly. Now, for us here in New York, maybe not on the AFC side with the Jets, but definitely on the NFC side with the Giants. I mean, this is like it's just natural. You naturally hate the Philadelphia Eagles because they're the division rival, and the proximity right down the turnpike to get to Philadelphia in between New York, and the fan base is kind of cross over at some place in southern New Jersey where there's this line where it starts to get a little murky. Is it blue? Is it green? Is it like a little hybrid of both? And so that hate is real. So there's no Giant fan that's going to watch this Super Bowl and say, I want the Philadelphia Eagles to win.
I agree.
It's all New Jersey and all of New York, Connecticut, whatever. The tri-state of love that I tried to get a couple weeks ago is all going to be rooting for the Kansas City Chiefs. And it's just it creates a rooting interest that otherwise wouldn't be there if the Eagles were a likable city of brotherly love squad.
877-337-6666 is our number. Tiki and Tierney are the fan. Hopefully you guys had an awesome weekend. We're inside of our Town Fair Tire studio. Our friends at Town Fair remind you that you always get the guarantee lowest priced on name brand tires from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. In case you guys have not yet seen it, the line for the Super Bowl, Philly -2. The over-under is 49.5. And I got to say this, too. I mean, there's a lot of things to unpack from yesterday, stuff that went down in the game, things that kind of are worked around the game. And this is one of those things that's around the game, but I almost feel bad saying this because I do like him. Joe Burrow needed a little slice of humble pie. And Joe Burrow was getting a little too smug for my taste, a little too cocky.
That's a good point.
With these ridiculous outfits that he's wearing, with Burrow head and all the stuff that he was espousing. I'm happy to see him slink off the field a loser.
Yeah, I was.
And I like Joe Burrow. He's awesome.
I love Joe Burrow because he's a winner, but he's also so cocky.
You got to tap those brakes, man.
The cigar, like the constant cigar, going back to his days at LSU when they won the national championship, and he's flaunting around in the locker room with a cigar. I mean, I get it. I understand it. But he pulls it out every single chance he gets.
He does.
Like, he won what did they win? The
divisional title.
Was it the divisional game? He had a cigar. I'm like, dude, you haven't won anything yet.
Yeah.
Do you think just because you've won 3 times at Arrowhead and you want to rename it Burrowhead, Mike Hilton, that you're guaranteed to be in the Super Bowl again? Yeah, he needed some humble pie. I agree. But more importantly, we were watching this game, and their receiving core is just elite. They are so dang good.
Oh, you got your boy coming next year to the Giants.
I mean, T. Higgins.
Yep.
Going to grab that ball for a touchdown. I want a guy like that. I want a wide receiver like that. I'm jealous of what Joe Burrow has. I know what you're saying. He needs to be humble. But the reason he's not is because he's got so much talent around him. I hope we can steal one of those guys.
Okay, and I back to the main thing here out of the shoot, like the energy that the Eagles will generate negative from everywhere outside of Philly, is so needed. You think about rivalry, right? And this applies to the college scene as well. Like, we sit here and we conjure up and we romanticize what used to be. Oh, Duke, North Carolina. Duke, North Carolina, it's lame. Nobody cares about Duke, Carolina anymore.
Not anymore.
You just don't. USC, UCLA, or USC, Notre Dame. Whatever. Yankees, Reds. Let's keep it real. Yankees, Red Sox is useless.
It lost its luster
100%.
after they won. Yeah.
100%. Yankees, Red Sox has lost juice. Now, I know that there's elements, Mets, Phillies, a little energy there, and you got a little Mets, Braves, and you got a little remnants of what used to be. But the entire sporting landscape has changed because the world has shrunk. And that's the reality of it. And I'm not necessarily, pining for the past. I'm not. Although with certain things, yes, I guess I am. And this is kind of one of them. I think this is a throwback situation. Like, you talk about the Raiders and you throw the Raider music and you slap on the highlights from the 70s and the 80s. The Raiders are the most benign, antiseptic franchise. What the hell is so, in your face about the Raiders are meaningless. Raiders don't bother anybody.
Yeah, not anymore.
It's the pirate with the patch. Ooh, what a badass logo. The juice has been sucked out of sports because we police ourselves too aggressively, like a bunch of wusses. And the fact that the Philadelphia Eagles don't care what we think, don't care about us, stuff it down our throats and shove it in our face, I love it.
And
I really do.
And the fan base is exactly that.
Let's go.
It just makes it hard, unless you're a Philadelphia Eagles fan, to root for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh, I'm all Mahomes. Let's go. And that's the other thing, too. Think about, some of the great historical reference points where players plowed through injury. Tony Romo actually dropped a couple.
Yeah.
Brought out Willis Reed during the game. Attaboy. Willis Reed, obviously the Jordan flu game. We don't like this here, but Kurt Schilling bloody sock. Like, that's Tiger Woods, limping around on one leg at the Masters. Like, even that is in large part gone because players make so much money that teams protect them, like from the Seinfeld episode Bubble Boy. Like, everybody's afraid everybody's going to get hurt. I love it. I love that the Eagles, that we hate them, and I love that Mahomes was so gamely limping, not limply, gamely limping, there you go, around the field and reminding us what we kind of used to see. That was awesome. 877-337-6666. All right. We're going to get to the Empire State stuff. We're talking about this, the Eagles. We got you covered on this Monday. Tiki and Tierney on the Fan.